This is the seedling garden in my west window, which doesn't supply a whole lot of light, but I try to use as much of my window space as I can for gardening. These are all in the yogurt containers. Like once Paris and the other guys, but Paris likes them most of all. She eats a lot of these things. I had them given to me, so I'm very grateful. And so is Paris. She loves this brand. She thinks this is just awesome stuff. So anyway, that gets the Paris seal of approval. As you can see, she's very happy with them. She also enjoys these Minigo things, but not nearly as much as the whatever. Anyway, there's one that she's eating right now that she likes more, but I'm sure nobody cares about that. You may have remembered me showing that I'd overplanted this tray, and I actually had labeled it, but I didn't see the label because I just wrote right on the plastic, and it's orange grape tomatoes. So there's a lot less in there now, and I think I will take a few more out just to provide a little more space for the seedlings, and then the rest can just continue to grow in this container for now. But all of these in the yogurt containers, every single one of these in the yogurt containers came out of that little container. So I had quite a lot to take out of there. And in some cases I didn't want to damage the roots too badly. So there's, I don't know if you can see, there's 2 plants in that one. Because if I end up damaging the roots, well, they die. So I tried to save as many as I could out of that container that I severely overplanted, and this is what I got. I got a west window garden. So I've put, sometimes I've had to put containers underneath just to get them up at a level where the sun could get at them. And I prefer using white curtains, so that's close to white, wrapped around the seedlings. So once I'm done planting this west window area, then I'm going to stretch a white sheet across the back here and just clip it. James likes the mirrors. So I don't know. I found that men really like to be in charge. And I'm willing, as most women are, to defer to men because they like to be in charge. And in most cases, I can get away with my white curtains, and which work way better than the mirrors. But James, every time I do this, he's like, "Oh, it's too bad you didn't have some mirrors you could." And I'm like, oh, okay. So one year I used some tin foil, or well, aluminum foil, around the seedlings, because it's certainly lighter unless, if these mirrors fall, well, there goes my seedlings and a big mess of broken glass. But anyway, it doesn't work as well. The mirrors don't work as well to reflect as the white, I have found. So whatever, if you make, say you have a whole bunch of white plastic bags you're thinking about taking to the recycling or something like that, you might want to run some string through the handles and make some sort of ugly prayer flag thing out of the plastic bags and use that if you don't have white curtains or white sheets. So, but white is right as far as I'm concerned for reflecting the light as much as possible from the window back onto the seedlings. But this year again, James said, "Oh, too bad you don't have some mirror." Well, I've tried to explain this to him before, and you'd think he'd think, okay, well, Pauline certainly knows about gardening. I mean, I wouldn't presume to know more about history than him, and I wouldn't make any suggestions in that regard unless he asked me my opinion or whatever. I'd be like, well, this seems to make sense or whatever. But, you know, anyway, I stuck a couple mirrors up and he seemed happy. So it's just easier. It's just easier for me to just go along with a little bit with what he says so that I can actually get the job done, because I mean, it's obviously not going to work. He's going to keep making suggestions about the mirrors, and I'm not going to get through to him that, no, the white curtains are a far better idea, or white sheets, or whatever, or white plastic, you know, white. Anyway, so I have lots and lots of seedlings now that I've ranted about that, and I don't know why I did, but anyway, I planted the orange grape tomato seedlings with Red Rubin Basil seeds in the pots. So this took me a long time. I used a little bamboo skewer just to make a tiny little scratch in the potting mix after I planted the tomatoes, and that seemed to work out really well because the basil seed doesn't have to be deep at all. And I have other things coming up now. So I think, if I remember correctly, this is my lemon boys, but I'm not sure. And I've labeled this, like, I made these little, oh gosh, get it in focus, and there we go. So you can see it's 2013 seed that I planted here, and I did that with quite a lot of my seed, just to see if it would still germinate, and it's still germinating, but it's taking a while. Like, there's only 5 of the Brandywine tomatoes up so far, but these came up really well. These are the yellow pears over here, and they're coming up pretty well. And what else do I have a label in? I don't know. Anyway, so the tomatillo so far not a 1. We'll see. But that's my west window garden so far. I'll just stretch. I've clipped and clipped, and I'll clip some more white across this side of the window too. And I'll try to get that curtain up a little more so that it's out of the way, because it's blocking my light, and why would I want that? That's ridiculous, right? So I'll try to get that up today too, and then I'll get more light on my seedlings.